Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching this show right here. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, enjoying your day, making it awesome, making it dope as hell, as it should be, in my personal opinion. I hope you guys are all doing something well. And hit the number one if you can hear the music. I just want to make sure that you guys are hearing the theme song and all that stuff, okay? Because, you know, I'm working out these these bugs, okay? I'm working out some bugs, but I got some new things that I'm very excited about. Real talk, I'm very excited about it. And yay, you guys can hear it. And what's nice about this is that you can actually hear the music bed behind everything instead of it just kind of going in and out and all that throughout the entire thing. So, sorry for the late start. Okay, let me just say that really quick. I apologize for the late start. Now I can do this now. Oh, it's so sexual. I love it. I love it. So, yes, your boy's finally moving up in the world and making some good things, making some changes and everything for the show. I'm very excited. These devices, you know, when you start going digital instead of analog, it's kind of cool. So I'm really excited about these new things that I'm about to be able to bring to you guys onto the show audibly speaking, okay? But anyway, guys, this is something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. I missed you guys yesterday, had some things pop up, even this morning, wasn't able to get on and watch the trial with you guys as a family, but I wanted to go through some of the things that were discussed and talked about on the thing during Murdaugh, I don't know. Alex testimony was very interesting, y'all. And so I got some questions for y'all. You know, what you think of it? Did you like it? Did you feel it? Did you go, you know, he's doing a good job. He did a good job. I'm just wondering where you guys stand on this. Let me say this right now. I may open up the phone lines a little bit later to hear your thoughts on everything. But of course, we got to go through some things. Sorry for the late start. I had to reboot my entire everything. I had to reboot everything. Okay, so that gave me a little bit of a slowdown. All right. So there's things there's articles and stuff that I'm going to have to search with you guys live on the show because there was a lot of things I had lined up to talk to you guys about. So we're going to be going through this bit by bit as a family. Do you think him guilty or do you think him innocent? That is the question I'm going to be asking you guys quite a bit, okay, in regards to this whole thing. So before we get into everything, you know, a little bit of housekeeping. I appreciate all y'all for being here, okay? I missed you guys this morning. And I may be doing the watch parties for the rest of this week or the rest of next week with their closing arguments and all that too, which we'll be talking about. I will circle back to that conversation here shortly, but please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, send it past 300 likes as you guys start to file in. All right. And if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button, baby. You know for a fact your boy's working hard out here in these streets to give you the conversation and the stories and the controversies that you need for the day. All right. And in this one, we are talking about Alex Murdaugh. I don't know anymore. You decide how to pronounce his name. I'm just going to go with the Alex Murdaugh and just ride with it. Okay. But it'd be greatly appreciated if you became a part of the family. Of course, you can support the channel by hitting that join button down below as well and being a part of the family that way as well. Anyway, let's get into this thing, baby. We got to get into it. Oh, the fader. Look at that. The fading out of the music. Holy cow. It just feels good. Okay. All right. No more of this weird mouse moving around and trying to click on the tunes and trying to do all this extra stuff. I just got to hit a pad and it just goes. It feels so good. Okay. And it wouldn't be possible without you guys' support. All right. I wouldn't be getting this weird doohickey just for ish and giggles. You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you guys a good experience when you watch this show. Okay. So anyway, we got to talk about this. And again, there's a lot of things that I haven't been able to, I'm going to have to probably pull back up and all that, which is going to be a big, huge pain in the butt here very, very shortly. But as we know, Alex Murdaugh, okay, has, and one real quick, Summer Butterfly, thank you so much for being a member for the past 6 months. That's a long time of supporting. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. But as we know, Alec Murdaugh just finished his testimony. He was on the stand. His people, his team was able to ask him questions. And then today and yesterday, he was cross-examined by the prosecution. Now, I've been hearing through the grapevine that some people are feeling that the prosecution didn't do as well as they could have. They could have done a lot. There was opportunities there, and they just kind of dropped the ball, right? But for me, and we talked about this during the live that we were watching yesterday, and I'm telling you right now, there's some really great things coming around the bend, okay? So the reason why I wasn't around is for very, very good reasons. And hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys about that in the near future, all right? But outside of that, from what we saw in the very beginning of his testimony, the very first second, within the first few seconds of him sitting in that chair on that stand, he was asked blatantly right into your face, okay? Because we're talking about both days, okay? We're not just talking about today, we're talking about both. And we're gonna be diving deep, okay, or looking heavily into day 2, okay, which was today. But he was questioned quickly on if he did this thing in a very graphic way. Did you do this? Did you blow your boy's brains out and all that? And he said, no, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. I didn't do that to my boy. I would never do that to Maggie. He did all that. But then after that, they got all the, they got the most important part out of the way, I guess, right? But no, it went straight to, now you know that you lied, right? He goes, yes, I did. Yeah, I lied about being in that kennel. And then we had Chicken Gate for a good minute. I didn't know. I thought maybe he was going to choke the chicken. You know what I'm saying? No, he just talked about the dog, Bubba, getting this guinea and getting this chicken out the dog's mouth. And it was like in petrified state, I guess. And then he took the chicken out of Bubba's mouth and he put it on a table while he was in the kennel. And then he left. Chicken Gate, right? These guineas, Chicken Gate. Then, of course, he goes on this, which a lot of people were saying the same thing that we said on the show. A lot of word salad, right? There was a whole lot of word salad flying around. And I feel that was a really messed up way of confusing the jury. Of course, I didn't get a chance to talk much about this yesterday. So I'm trying to do is a little bit of a talk about yesterday too, right? Now, all this word salad, and we're sitting here looking at this and we're going, okay, so wait, what? The entire time, us as viewers that were watching this from all over the world, because everybody and their mom is watching this right now, especially during his cross-examination, his testimony, etc. Everybody and their mom was watching this right now, okay? This was his historical moment, okay? In true crime history, this is a historical moment. In law, right? The man who is accused of doing something unthinkable takes the stand and speaks on his own behalf, right? And you're waiting for him to slip up, him to make one small mistake, him to say something that's not right, etc., right? Well, how do y'all think he did? That's the question I want to ask y'all. Are you buying it? Did you feel for him as he was speaking, as he was looking over photos of Paw and Maggie, as he wept, talking about the last moment that he had with his son? But then again, still, no matter what, word salad like a mother lover, because his timing, the timeline, still seemed a little bit odd, don't you think? At least to me, it was. But the only time that he lied was when he was in the kennel, when he said he was not. And the only reason why this information even came out, where he had to speak the truth or where he had to speak on it, was because of a Snapchat video that was left on his son's phone, where you clearly hear his voice in the background while they're in the kennel and he is with one of the dogs. Paul is with one of the dogs. This is the only reason why he had to jump in there and say, yeah, I did lie, but I would never hurt Paw and Maggie. Never would. Then on top of that, and I'm just talking about day number 1, I'm sorry. First day of him on the stand. First thing he says is, the reason why I did all this, why I lied and all that, is because it was an addiction to these pills. To the 60-something a day pills that he takes. Up to 60-something pills a day he was taking. In the land of Oxy, right? He blames all that on his addiction. Can't you blame, or can't you sit there and say that maybe you did something unthinkable? Like taking someone's life. If you're willing to lie through your teeth to law enforcement saying that you weren't there, why wouldn't you just be upfront at that moment? Why would you lie at that point? Then the whole timeline that he had, which was very, very interesting. He went over to see his mom and then, laid on her other bed. And then he came back. And then after some time, he went back and, jumped in his car, not his golf cart, but his car, went into the back, into the kennel area and found Paw and Maggie, right? Timeline seemed a bit strange. But again, why would you start lying right off the bat about that? Forget the addiction part. These are two of your beloveds that are gone, that are mysteriously erased from this planet. And if you have any piece of information, something that you have, right? Maybe you'll be able to explain through telling the truth. Maybe that can help law enforcement find something closer to the truth. Now, I know there's some things about this that's been very, very interesting as well, where, of course, there's the whole situation of the boat accident that Paul had, losing one of his friend's girlfriends, or one of his friends as well. They lost, this young girl lost her life during this drunk boating accident. So there was that theory, and it's still going out there like crazy because, there's some people that still believe that this could have been somebody very, very upset about something because of the loss of this young girl during this boating accident. This was an act of revenge on that part. But still, those things don't work out for me either. The math is still not mathing for me on that at all. Again, this is still the conversation that they try to pull up, even in today's situation. And let me tell you something. I was very surprised on Alex's response and how he was talking with responding to prosecution, right? How he was how he handled the questions. I was kind of surprised. But then again, we're talking about a person who's a master manipulator. I have to say that. He has a history of being, I repeat, a master manipulator. We talked about it yesterday on the live. He's looking at hundreds of charges right now that do not even circle in the world of M. These are all from fraudulent, conning ways where he has had to be a snake in the grass, all right? Lie through his teeth, creating all these things that he's looking at, not only just the land of M, not because of taking these 2 lives, he's looking at other situations right now as well. Through all the continuous amounts of lies that he has concocted. So when I look at all of that, I go, why wouldn't he lie about this, about not being in the kennel, about if he did this or not? You're telling me that he would swindle all the people that he's known out of millions of dollars. Some people that he would consider friends. But you're telling me he wouldn't do something like this? Now, there is a good possibility of that too. Let's keep it real. There's a good possibility of him lying through his teeth about everything except this. There is a good possibility of that too. There is still the possibility of him screwing so many people over that maybe somebody got mad and retaliated and took 2 people that he loved the most. That's still a possibility as well. Or Paul did something very, very bad in the past. His father, Alec, who just took the stand today, helped try to cover it up as much as he could so that his son could basically walk. There's a good possibility that somebody out there, there's a disgruntled individual that wants to make them feel the same amount of pain that they have from losing their loved one by Paul, right? The possibilities are endless here, right? Possibilities are endless. Now, real quick, okay, Kiri, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. I appreciate it. I got a couple super chats, or I got a super chat and 2 new members. I appreciate you guys coming in and supporting. I really do appreciate it. S Dubs, what's up? Thank you so much for the 5. In my honest opinion, he guilty. Him guilty, but he guilty too. Yeah. But I think SLED botched this case and their job. Because of that, jury could find a reasonable doubt. Hung jury, he is a liar. Now, let me say this. I agree 110%, okay? I think that him guilty. Him guilty. And if y'all think him guilty and you a member, please use the him guilty emoji if you think him guilty, okay? But I think him guilty, all right? And I do think that SLED, law enforcement, all that, mucked this up. And for those of y'all who are trying to figure out what that is, yes, thank you, my guardian angel, for being a guardian angel by doing that. I didn't have to Google it and, break down the acronym, but there it is. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, okay? So, and my guardian angel saying they believe that they screwed that up. They chopped it up and screwed it as well. I think that there was both. I think it's a combination of lies, maybe some insider corruption going on. You know, you got to remember the Murdaugh family, has generations. Their roots are deep in that town. There are possibilities of, oops, he made this officer made a little mistake, or overlooked this one little detail, maybe to save this dude's ass. I don't know, but those possibilities can be there, right? Hold on, I got another one here. I wanted to get it before it disappears on me. Anna Moy, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Hold on, actually. Yes, I think I got it. Yes. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. But like I said, you know, new things, guys. Kind of cool, right? So I think that there's a lot to consider. Okay. And of course, we got to play both sides of the fence. We do. As much as you guys, some of you guys don't want to hear that, but let's keep it straight funky. We got to look at both sides of the fence. Now, just because he's a bold-faced liar, I have to play the other side. I'm sorry. Just because he's a bold-faced liar does not mean that he is a murderer, right? Doesn't automatically mean that he is. But jumping back on the other side of the fence, he went out of his way to lie through his teeth on many, many occasions. Now, I'm really, really happy that they decided to bring, I'm really, really excited or happy that they decided to bring all of his stuff, all of his wrongdoings in the situation, because you got to remember, they got to break this guy down in his character and who he is. They got to paint a picture for this jury, for the jury to understand what kind of person, all right? What kind of person are they messing with? You feel me? Right? They can't just automatically think that, oh, this guy is just a good law-abiding lawyer that just loves his kids and loves America and apple pie. No. They have to break him down and show the audience, or show not only the audience, but the members of the jury, that this man is corrupt. And there's a possibility he did some very corrupt things. You feel me? So, hold on real quick. There's a members chat. Angie G, thank you so much for being a member for the past month. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much. It says, I don't know if I'm buying it, but they have not 100% convinced me he unalived his wife and child. You know what? Let me say this too, Angie. I agree with you 110%. They've been dragging their feet on that part. And maybe by showing us proof positive, or giving us the smoking gun evidence, or giving us a good argument here, this may be a different conversation very, very soon. I'm wondering, because on Monday, they're apparently going to be bringing in 4 other, the defense is bringing in 4 other witnesses that come in and testify. But then, of course, prosecution apparently has 2 people coming through. So we might be looking at the wrap up of this trial by Wednesday. They might be doing closing arguments Wednesday or Thursday. Shoot, maybe even Tuesday. You never know. So I'm deeply thinking about. I'm heavily thinking about watching the rest of the trial this coming week, because I definitely want to see what the outcome will be. Of course, I want to see what that verdict is too, but I most definitely want to hear their closing arguments, more important than anything else, because that's what's going to happen. The prosecution has a lot on their plate to try to tie this thing up in a bow and deliver this directly to the jury to make them think that there is no reasonable doubt, that without a shadow of a doubt, this man did this thing. But so far, I have yet to see them show that he was in the designated place at the designated time with that designated rifle or those guns and doing the designated thing. You feel me? So that's the one thing I'm still waiting for myself, because I think him guilty, but I don't know if this jury believes all that just yet. Again, maybe some of y'all might not like the information there, but still, I think he did a pretty good job on the stand. I hate to say it to y'all. His reasonings were trash, I will say that, but I think he did a good job on the stand. It's aggravating. I got a couple super chats. Hold on, guys. We're getting through this, okay? And please don't forget to hit that like button down below. Send it past 300 likes for me. That would really, really mean a lot. Okay. Let's see. I already got that one. Did I do this? I did Anamoy. Right? Yes, I did. So him guilty. A lot of y'all saying him guilty. I agree. Quinn B, thank you so much for the 10. He's trying to play into the jury with his southern charm. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to hold on to that comment here because we are going to look at this. Obviously, we're going to be looking at some of this testimony here in just a second. I can't believe Waters didn't end with one question. After you lied to all these people, why should the jury believe anything you say now? You know what, Quinn? Yes. Okay. 110% I agree right there. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't why wouldn't they ask that last question? Right? End it with a nice bow on top. Like, hey, all right, we've asked you all these questions. We've asked you all these tough questions. We got a conversation about your, about the timeline. We asked you about your addictions, and we learned that his addictions were seriously severe. Okay, we learned all that stuff, right? But we also learned that he was a pathological liar and a master manipulator. Okay, why should anyone believe that you are not the one that did this when you are known to lie without even flinching? How are we supposed to look at your testimony right here that you're giving in front of all of us and not think that this is just one big charade? That would have been a beautiful question to wrap it up, and then maybe the jury would have been like, oh, good point. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? That would have sent it home. That would have. Real talk. Real talk. Felicia, Nicole, welcome to the family. Thank you so much for becoming a member. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Woo. Thank you. I appreciate it. I got these new things. It's exciting. It's exciting to have some fun here. Angela, thank you so much for the 10. Motive. Okay. What would he gain with them gone? He was a trapped rat. How would these M's get him out of the trap? You know what? That's a very, very good question. That's a damn good question, Angela. What is his motive? If he was to do this, why did he do it? Now, I know there's a lot of people that were putting out, there's a lot of conspirizing out here in these streets. Let's keep it straight funky. There's been a lot of conspirizing, all right? Some people are saying that there's money involved. And by taking the life of his wife, he would have financially become richer, right? Then there's also the other conversation about the boating accident and the things that were owed that Paul actually owed to the family, and he was owing maybe millions of dollars on that stuff, right? And maybe by taking him out, I don't know. But like I said, motive is still a question. I have so many questions. I have so many questions, man. I really, really do. And one of them is most definitely, why? Why would you do this, baby? Why? If you did this, why did you do it? But we're not going to be hearing him suddenly have a Perry Mason or Matlock revelation at in the trial, being like, I did it, and we're not going to get a Scooby-Doo moment, okay? I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you snot-nosed kids and your mangy dog. You see what I'm saying? We're not going to get that. So I don't think we're ever going to get that satisfaction of finding out why, right? What's his motive? Jamie, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate the $10 super sticker. Thank you. Mud boots and shark teeth. Thank you so much for the 10. I think because E has something to do with the demise. Possibly AM was there to witness it, but may not have done it himself. Yeah, my gut is that There's something underlying. He's hiding details. So there is that theory too, that maybe somebody else was there. Maybe it was money that was owed. He owed people money. Maybe it was because of his severe addiction to oxys, and it was oxycodone and oxycontin that he was very, very a huge fan of, for lack of a better term. Okay. Addiction makes you do some really crazy things. Maybe he was saying those things or maybe something happened where he owed money to somebody, or a deal that went wrong or something. I don't know. But he ain't changing. Well, he did change his narrative now, okay, as of yesterday, with that one big detail. And the only reason why he spoke out on that is because he was caught red-handed. They had proof, and then he had to speak out about that. So I don't know. It could be a hit job. It could be a deal that went bad. It could be solely a revenge situation. I do not know. But the only person that really does know the truth is this man right here, which is really, really terrible. Okay. Let's continue. I think that's all of them. I think. Yes, it is. I really do appreciate all the super chats. I really, really do. But I wanted to give you guys this as well. We got a couple things I want to share with you guys, but this is just kind of a quick recap of what we have seen so far. Okay. Definitely don't forget to hit that like button down below. Send it past 300. That would really mean a lot. Let's rock and roll with this, and hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. Okay. That would be very appreciated as well. Let's rock and roll, baby.
Now to the Alec Murdaugh double murder trial, as Murdaugh faced more cross-examination from the state today, with much of the attention on Murdaugh's admitted lies that he told family, friends, and law enforcement following the shooting deaths of his wife and son. News 19's Sam Perez is here now with some of those powerful moments from the courtroom.
The defendant's history of lies was definitely the theme on Friday. Prosecuting attorney Creighton Waters worked for much of the past 2 afternoons to discredit Murdaugh as he tries to prove that the defendant is guilty of murdering Maggie and Paul on June 7th, 2021.
Mr. Murdaugh, are you a family annihilator?
A family annihilator? You mean like, did I shoot my wife and my son?
Yes.
No, would never hurt Maggie Murdaugh. I would never hurt Paul Murdaugh under any circumstances.
Say that, but you lied to Maggie, didn't you?
I did lie to Maggie
You lied to Paul.
sometimes.
Did you lie to Marion Proctor?
Yes,
Did you lie to Bart Proctor?
yes,
Did you lie to the Brandstetters?
yes.
Did you lie to your best friend, Chris Wilson?
Probably. I will agree with you that every single client, I looked them in the eye, and I believe that the people that I stole money from for all those years trusted me.
In addition to pointing out Murdaugh's financial crimes, where he admitted to stealing millions of dollars from his clients, Waters also repeatedly questioned Murdaugh's lies to investigators when he said he wasn't down by the dog kennels where Maggie and Paul were later found dead.
And you've been able to lie quickly and easily and convincingly if you think it'll save your skin for well over a decade. Isn't that true?
I have lied well over a decade.
And you want this jury to believe a story manufactured to fit the evidence that you brought forth just yesterday after hearing this trial's worth of testimony.
Murdaugh says he disagrees with Waters on this, testifying that everything he's told the jury in the past 2 days has been true. Reporting in Walterboro, Sam.
Okay, so again, let me just say this. You hear a man who has had a history of just straight up lying to everyone, even way before the unalivings, this tragedy that took place. Way before that, he was a master manipulator. Oh man, See, I had all these things ready for y'all, and then my whole computer went pew, and I have to go and get all this crap again, and it just angers the hell out of me. But I appreciate you guys being so patient with me and all that. But there are other things that this guy was doing, even during the time that there it is, even during the time that he was taking care of his son Paul after this accident. Okay. Now, of course, we're just kind of going through these as broad strokes. We're not going to go into too big of a deep dive into these articles. But during the trial yesterday, during this particular trial yesterday, he admitted, and I'll show you the article, or at least the title here. He admits, okay, because remember, the accident happened. They went to the hospital. Alec had his badge sticking out of his pocket, okay, like his solicitor badge sticking out of his pocket, okay? And let me just say this, okay? So Alec admits he may have purposely dangled his solicitor badge out of his back pocket on the night of his son's boat crash to get a warmer response, and says he left it on his car dash so cops were friendlier. Does that not scream to you someone that is a master manipulator? Does that not scream to you someone who knows how to finesse a little bit? He's a finesser. He's a straight finesser. We're going to take a look at the photos here because they have some stills in here as well from security cams and all that. But he admits to, like, yeah, I know. You know, I may have done it, but he knows. He's he's saying he may have, but let's be real. I hope the jury's hearing that and going, no, he didn't he did. He knew that by wearing that, maybe he can get some insider information, maybe that they would let him, be more gentle on his son. He knew that if he could finesse, all right, this situation by showing that badge, like, I'm one of y'all, right? That maybe that they would be less harsh, okay, and friendlier with him and his son during the time that his son was belligerently drunk. If you've seen any of the HBO Max documentary that came out a few months ago, it's a 3-parter that's on Netflix. I have yet to see it. I might be checking it out tonight. Okay. But I feel like I've already seen 2 other documentaries about the Murdaugh family and this whole trial and this case before this trial, that I feel like it's just repeating the same stuff. But I know that there's new things in there that are still jaw-dropping and still shocking as well. So I may be looking at that and checking that out over this weekend. But outside of that, we all know that his son was driving a boat. That boat crashed and somebody lost their life. And the reason why this man lost control, this young kid lost control of this boat, was because he was drunk as hell. And even as he's getting pulled into the hospital, he is visibly belligerently drunk. So he shows up. Papa, Alec Murdaugh, shows up with this badge in hopes that he can finesse his way around things. That's it. And I'm just going to show you guys, or read these bullets here, though, really quick. The state this afternoon began the cross-examination, okay, on, of course, Horde 54, Alec Murdaugh. Don't do drugs, kids. Just don't do drugs. Okay? So, after he took the stand to deny unaliving his wife and son in June 7th, 2021, at the time of Maggie and Paul's demise, he was facing a civil suit over a fatal, facing a civil suit over a fatal boat crash in which his son was driving under the influence in February of 2019. Murdaugh, or Alec, admitted on the night of the boat wreck he was wearing his solicitor badge when he arrived at the hospital, but denied trying to corrupt witnesses. And there are stories, according to these other documentaries and all that, people who are saying that he was walking in and literally trying to get them to alter their narrative, alter their story. All these kids. Real talk, because he was trying to save his son's butt. All right. But let me show you guys this. This is right here. Whoops. As you can see, this is right here. It says, like, you know, he said he could not remember whether he was wearing the badge before jurors were shown pictures, all right, which showed the badge. Let me blow this up for you guys a little bit better. All right. Where you see the badge is hanging out of his pocket. A badge he was wearing, a badge has a warming effect with other law enforcement. This is what he said. A badge has a warming effect with other law enforcement. If I was seeking an advantage, as you would say, if I was seeking an advantage, as you say, he eventually conceded. So he was literally in here. Leslie, shoot, see? Right in the front, flashing it for all. Yes, utilizing the things that he has to see if he can finesse out of situations. This is a full-on opportunist, master manipulator, finesser. That's basically what we've all learned from this testimony. If anything, from cross-examination and when he had his own team, the defense, speaking with him, he came in, he said, no, I didn't do this, but I did lie because of drugs. He did say that. I mean, you know, I'm obviously paraphrasing like a mug, okay? But he did say, I didn't do that to Maggie or Paw. I would never do that. But I did lie because I was on drugs. So let's take a look at a few things here, guys. Let's take a look at a few things.
Court has just adjourned for the day after a second day of emotional testimony from Murdaugh himself. 2 full days of intense questioning. Murdaugh at times becoming visibly agitated, especially after the prosecution attempted to poke holes in his alibi after he admitted to lying to investigators about where he was the night of the murders. Senior national correspondent Brian Enton joins us live. Brian, the prosecution zeroed in on that 4-minute period of time after the murders.
Yep.
Yeah, what a day it was, Nicole. Attorney Alex Murdaugh back on the stand once again, really zeroing in on the timeline and the discrepancies. And for the first time, and this was really interesting, for the very first time, Alex Murdaugh said what he thinks actually happened to his wife and son.
For the second day, prosecutors cross-examined Alex Murdaugh in the double murder case of Paul and Maddie Murdaugh. Today, there were no explosive admissions that he lied to investigators, no gotcha moments. Instead, prosecutors seemed to hammer away at inconsistencies in Murdaugh's memory.
What you're saying is not accurate.
You're saying that you didn't say very specifically to law enforcement that you went to them prior to calling 911.
If I did say that, I don't believe that's accurate.
At times, the seasoned lawyer himself objecting to ways the prosecutor was painting him to the jury, leading to testy exchanges.
I'm not claiming that, Mr. Waters. That's a fact. This is what happened.
All right, we're hearing that now, correct?
Hearing what now?
What you just said.
Well, you just asked me this.
The prosecution repeatedly reminded the jurors of Murdaugh's financial victims and his addiction to pills.
My whole life, you wouldn't see me where I didn't have pills on me. And that's where I kept them. I kept them on me because I was scared to put them somewhere for fear somebody would find them. So I kept them on me. So if you saw me, I had pills on me. I had a pocket full of pills on June the 8th. On June the 8th, when I was sitting in David Owen's patrol car.
And then asking the defendant about the missing 4 minutes. Murdaugh saying he was resting on the couch while Maggie and Paul were still at the kennels. His phone showing Murdaugh took nearly 300 steps.
Not only are you moving around a lot, but you're making a ton of phone calls.
That I never manufactured any alibi in any way, shape, or form because I did not and would not hurt my wife and my child.
At one point today, the prosecutor goading Murdaugh into giving another stunning admission like he did on the stand yesterday.
Any more about your decision to lie? I mean, I just want to, let's get it all out now.
And then a very interesting moment when Murdaugh said he knew who committed the murders, believing the murderer or murderers stemmed from the 2019 boat accident trial involving his son, Paul.
I can tell you that at that time, and as I sit here today, that I believe that boat wreck is the reason why Paul and Maggie were killed.
Okay.
And I'm certain,
So
I believe
it was random vigilantes, the 5-2 vigilantes. So
now what I believe, Mr. Waters, is I believe that when Paul was charged criminally, there were so many leaks. And when I tell you the social media response that came from that was vile, the things that were said about what they would do to Paul, they were so over the top that nobody would believe anybody would get on social media and do that. But I believe then, and I believe today, that the wrong person saw and read that.
okay.
Because I can tell you for a fact that the person or people who did what I saw on June the 7th, they hated Paul Murdaugh and they had anger in their heart.
So real quick, obviously you can see he is, I mean, in that piece right there, itself, you could see that he is fiery about this. To me, there's something about this that just isn't, it just doesn't feel right. Okay. To me, after this, something just doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel natural. All right. Something doesn't feel like this really is 100% the truth. Okay. Again, I still keep asking, why? Starting at the very beginning of this whole thing, the very beginning of this testimony of these 2 days, why, oh, why would he lie about being in the kennel? Why would he lie about that? And the way he says, oh, it's because of addiction. Well, we're going to look at that again. Okay. We're going to go back to that. I'm going to try to find it and see if we can look at that. Okay. So we can break that down a little bit. But I still keep saying, and especially when they start looking at his timeline and what he says about the timeline and saying there's inconsistencies and all that. I mean, yes, I do get it that there's maybe pieces of things in your memory that there might be lapse in memory and all that. But what's weird to me is that he is so descriptive on so many things, and then he's just forgets, right? He's so descriptive and knows everything about where he was, what he did, how long he was there for, etc. But then when it comes to the very big moments, the moments that really do matter, he's just kind of throwing his hands up in the air and saying, okay, yeah, roughly, I think I was doing this, that, and the third. It seems sticky, right? It doesn't seem like a smooth testimony. Now, I know that there's going to be other people out here that are going to be like, oh man, I'm quite vexed because of this testimony. And of course, we have to play both sides of the fence here. You see, we have to keep it even keeled, because this could be a man fighting for his life where he is being absolutely honest, or he is lying through his teeth, or it's a combination of both. But then at the same time, I will say this too. Let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it straight 100. All right. Let's keep this straight 100. Why wouldn't he say the things now? If there's some evildoer, right, that was there, that was doing this unthinkable thing, and he found them in the way that he found them and all that, and he had any part of it, and he, or not any part of it, but like he witnessed it, wouldn't he sit here by now and say, I saw it all go down? It was a guy that did this thing. He was dressed wearing this. He looked like this. He smelled like this, whatever, right? He had bushy eyebrows, whatever the hell it is. He was wearing all black. I didn't move because I was in frozen shock phase. Whatever the hell it is, why wouldn't you speak up about it by now? So, by him sitting here going, oh, yeah, there's this, that, and the third, and he did this and this and this. Come on, y'all. Isn't that him just trying to possibly finesse the jury and all the people that are sitting in the court of public opinion throughout the entire world right now, that are watching this moment, this very moment? With him saying this stuff, let me play that one more again. Because he had some things to say, and he feels solid on this, but I feel like he's shifting, y'all. He's just trying to shift it, going, well, it could have been this. There's a lot of people that are mad with Paul about what he did, so this was vengeance, right? This had to have been vengeance, right? I don't know. Do we believe a known serial liar and master manipulator? Or not? I'm going to play that one more time, though.
No, what I believe, Mr. Waters, is I believe that when Paul was charged criminally, there were so many leaks. And when I tell you the social media response that came from that was vile, the things that were said about what they would do to Paul, they were so over the top that nobody would believe anybody would get on social media and do that. But I believe then, and I believe today, that the wrong person saw and read that.
Okay.
Because I can tell you for a fact that the person or people who did what I saw on June the 7th, they hated Paul Murdaugh and they had anger in their heart.
Listen, this type of information that he's putting out right now, is it too little too late? Is it too little too late? And, and I ask that because the court of public opinion already has the verdict. They've had the verdict even way before this trial even started. This testimony, did it sway you? Did it change your mind? Do you think this was a good move on their part, on the defense side? Was this a smart way of getting the jury to maybe go, there's a reasonable doubt, or no? I think there's a lot of people that are going to be looking at this and going, okay, because I feel that the argument that's going to be circulating out here is just because a person is a master liar or master manipulator and a serial liar does not mean that they are a monster in this way. I feel like that's the only argument, or one of the main arguments that I see that could be percolating out here in these streets. Because to me, I don't believe him. Something doesn't smell right. But again, the theory that we saw earlier, that maybe he was there and he saw everything go down, then why lie? Why still lie? Even to this day, when you have the rest of your, literally, you are looking at the rest of your life being behind bars. You are fighting for your life. This is the reason why he took the stand, right? And I yesterday when we had when I talked about it, somebody said in the comment, "Hey, some people will, innocent people will go and take the stand. Guilty people won't. But master manipulators will take the stand as well to cover their own butts." He is looking at 30 some odd years, 30 plus years in jail, in prison, just on these M charges alone. Let's not forget the 100 other charges he's looking at for fraud and all that stuff. Okay. But if he really was a witness to this tragedy and somebody else was holding those weapons and pulling those triggers on his loved ones, why wouldn't he speak up by now? He should be squawking like crazy. He should be squealing like a pig if he is the guy that he is saying he says to be, right? That he's claiming to be on this stand. Oh, I would never hurt Paw and Maggie. Wouldn't do it at all. Never. So if he was witness of that, he should have been speaking up about this eons ago, in my personal opinion. Okay. And from what I've seen so far, I mean, yes, there's people out here that have gone up to speak on his behalf, right? But those are also people that could be manipulated, right? They could have been finessed by this man. And I agree, Janine Owen, addiction doesn't excuse lies, deception in M. Never. Never. It does not. But he is leaning hard on those things, and he's leaning hard on the theory that he has in his mind that maybe this all went down because of the boating accident that his son had that lost the life of that young girl. And that maybe social media, that blasted, cursed social media, somebody was reading those things, felt some type of way, went out to his place, found Paw and Maggie in the kennel and did this unthinkable thing. That's literally what he's saying. Now he's saying it's because of the internets. Because of the internets. Yet there have been other people that have lost their lives. A lot of bodies surround this Murdaugh family, or at least the name. Okay? Yeah, there could be a lot of enemies. Okay? Maybe Murdaugh, maybe Alec is, got a lot of enemies. He Drake up in this biznai, all right, of South Carolina, all right? He may be. I don't know. But the fact that there have been so many people that have lost their lives surrounding this family, and a lot of times this man has been around to cover those things up, or those things are never spoken of ever again. It's very interesting, guys. It's very, very interesting. So it does make you wonder, is this just karma coming up and biting him on the ash or not? Again, and of course I asked you guys, in the title of in the title of this show, but it even says here in this article here too. Okay, did Alec Murdaugh, his decision to take the stand against his own lawyer's advice backfire? Okay. And I have been seeing some things online, like, there's the other, like, LawTube, right? There are some people who are sitting there going, oh, prosecution just dropped the ball on this one, or, oh, the defense could have done more, to drive this thing home, so on and so forth. But what say you? What say you? How are you feeling about this? Do you think it backfired, or do you think that this ended up being about this? Or did you think that this was a very good move for Hold on, guys. Sorry. Hold on. What? I hate when this does. Sorry, guys. This thing likes to do this every once in a while. But what do you think, right? What say you, right? Do you think it backfired? Do you think this worked for him, right? Or no? Okay. So hold on. Because I'd love to hear your opinions on this. Hold on, guys. Yeah, I don't know why. It tends to do that. Sometimes the camera just shuts off for some weird reason, loses connection and whatnot. It's very, very annoying. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Hold on, I'm trying to get this thing on and popping. Hold on. Okay. Your thoughts. The phone lines are not open yet, so hold on before you start calling. Before you start hollering. Hold on. There we go. Yeah. Because, of course, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this too. And again, Queen B just said prosecution did terrible. Yeah. I really do think that there was a lot more that they could have gone with. I think that they could have gone in on him harder. I think that there was a lot of questions that they could have gotten to the point faster, right? I feel like they could have gotten to the point a lot faster. It was like, okay, wrap it up, B. Like I was about to hit the orchestral music. You feel me? Like, just wrap it up, homie. Like, we get it. Like, just get to the point of what you're trying to say here, right? But it didn't seem like they were, doing that, which was interesting. Just getting to the point, which obviously is very, very frustrating. Before I do this, let me before I open up the phone lines, okay? Let's see. Okay. Poll that I put up to the top, just so you guys have it. All right. Because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, for those of y'all who can't call in and all that. I am opening up the phone lines. The phone lines are now open, but so give me a call, 314-766-4581. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Please make it short, sweet, and concise. Okay. Don't take too long on these phone calls. All right. Just want to hear your thoughts, your opinions on this, because it's going to be kind of a flash round of speak on it. Okay. So it is definitely time for you guys to call in 314-766-4581. All right. Keep it professional. Keep it light, keep it loose, and keep it respectful. Most importantly, if you're disrespectful, I hang up on your age. All right? I don't like asses, okay? I don't like assholes. So be nice, okay? So phone lines are open, 314-766-4581. Love to hear your thoughts on all of this. All right? Love to hear some new voices too, by the way. I'm always down for that. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on what we have seen over the past 2 days with this trial. Are you liking it? Did you think that it worked? Do you think it backfired? Did it change your opinion? Did it make you think, okay, no, this is an innocent man? Murder was the case that they gave me. You know what I'm saying? Do you think he's straight up an innocent dude? Do you think there was something else now going on? Did it solidify your opinions even more with this case? Thinking him guilty or him innocent, whichever one. Give me a call. 314-766-4581. All right. But I'm seeing the people, you guys are going in and voting already, which is great. All right. Somebody said, it is theater. Montecor just said, it is theater. Yeah, it was theater. It was definitely something else. I mean, I'm sure those tears are real. I'm sure if he is the one who really did this, I'm sure he regrets doing what he did, right? I'm sure he does. But at the same time, Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where you calling from? Hello, Tyler? Yeah, I know who she is. Yeah. Yeah, she's been doing great coverage. Great coverage on it, for sure. Is Southern Charm? Right. So you do think him guilty? Okay. Okay. No. The way you led into it. Go ahead. Oh, you guys can't hear. Hold on. Hold on, buddy. Hold on 1 second. They can't hear you, allegedly. No, they can't. It's not you. I think they just can't hear the call at all. Hold on. Hold on. I'm checking some things here real quick. Sorry. I'm trying to it's all this, this new tech stuff, so I'm like trying to get it all figured out here. What the heck, damn it. Yeah, you guys didn't hear anything at all. Damn. Hold on, let me see something here real quick. Oh, that's so annoying. Yeah, no, you're good. Let me make sure. Audio. Okay. Let's see this. Can you talk real quick for me? All right. Definitely hit the number 1 if you can hear Tyler on the phone. Hit the number 2 if you can. Go ahead and repeat. So you think that he that they didn't. You think he did it? That's what you're basically saying. Yeah. Dang. All right. Yeah. No. Absolutely. Hold on. Go ahead and say a little bit more. I'm sorry. If you can hear me though. Man, that's crazy. It ain't working. Well, son of a Son of a gun. Yeah. Of course, I guess I'm going to have to figure this out because it is not rocking and rolling. That sucks. It's the actual, like, the phone line. I think it's the whole thing that is, I'm okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up right now, Tyler. Okay. I'm going to put the a video link out so you guys can call in that way. Okay. So let me do that really quick. Yeah. Streamlab thing. Okay. So I'm going to hang up on you, bro. All right, man. Peace. Okay. So that sucks. Okay. So real quick, phone lines are down. I got to get that figured out because I thought that was connected, but somehow it's not connected. So I apologize for that, guys. Okay. But I am going to be putting in the StreamYard link so that you guys can hop in and do it that way. I don't know why that's not working, but I'm going to need some time to figure that out. I don't know what happened here. Okay, guys. But I have the link. Okay. Let me get that pinned to the top of the chat. I see a bunch of you guys putting in your your votes, about 138 votes so far, but by all means, please go and put in your votes at the top of the chat. All right. But at the same time, underneath that chat, all right, there is a link. You can click on that and hop on that way. Okay. Phone lines are down. I'm trying to figure that out. But I want to quickly get Tyler on here to get his opinion on here. Tyler, what's up, man? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, actually, more importantly, can the audience hear me?
I was just going to say that. Everybody hit the number 1 to make sure you guys can hear Tyler speaking on this, okay? All right. So be sure to hit that number 1 if you can. So you were saying real quick that you were watching Emily Baker's show covering this trial. And yes, she's been doing a great job covering this trial like crazy.
Absolutely.
But even even before he went up, right, to take the stand, you thought he was guilty, right? Like he was already guilty dude.
Well,
correct?
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say before he went up. I was trying to keep an open mind about it. But then, I don't know, then yesterday he took the stand and I don't know, it just didn't seem like, it just didn't seem like he was making the best case. I mean, I know maybe you feel differently. I know that there are certain things that he's doing that might be able to sway a jury, but right. I'm not entirely convinced myself. At least, mm-hmm. I mean, I guess I'll just repeat what I'm saying since people couldn't hear.
Yeah, no one heard anything, so yeah, just go ahead and repeat it again.
Yeah, I think he was trying to use his Southern charm, as you were saying, and use his kind of just his not absent-mindedness, or what's the word? The charm and the relatability of like just how he's coming off to try and sway people. And while I'm not a lawyer, I'm not someone who's like I'm not even like a psychologist or anything, but I know what people do to try to sway other people in a certain direction. And I feel like he was trying to do that. And I don't think it worked on me, or at least I don't know.
To me, it's just something seemed off. Just to me, I mean, and that may be me, trying to. I don't know. It's not like I'm sitting here trying to find any excuses or making it seem like something. To me, I don't know. To me, he is still and will still remain guilty until he ain't guilty no more, if that makes any sense.
Right.
I have yet to see anything in this that screams to me that he's being 110% truthful with the situation. I think this is somebody who is known to lie. It's funny that he's a lawyer. It's
To
funny
be a
that he's a
politician,
lawyer too.
honestly.
No kidding, but it's funny that he's a lawyer too. I mean, liar,
Right,
you know what I mean?
lawyer.
So
Haha.
it is very interesting though that, he is up there. I think it's very cocky. Somebody you've said it a couple days ago, very egotistical. And I agree
Yes.
that this is very egotistical for him to come up here and think that by, positioning himself so that the jury can see his performance, can see his face, can see him get
Right.
emotional and all that. Get all choked up.
Bring the
and
tears,
have
the
these-
Amber Heard stuff.
the Amber Heard stuff. Yet he nailed it better than her. I will
Right.
say that.
That is true.
He nailed it better than her. I will say that. You know what I mean?
And
but something's still not right. Something's still not right. But go ahead, my
Something is
brother.
up.
Go ahead.
Something is up. The thing is, I just, I don't know the like the points he was making about like the night of the murders and like what he was doing. It's just just all of it just sounded very just prepared and just not not very convincing, or at least not the type of person I would say, that guy, he didn't actually do the things that he's being accused of.
Right.
Even just looking as like someone who's only tangentially looking at this case, and even as someone who isn't like in like the weeds about it, but watches people who do get into the weeds about this stuff. I think, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. It was,
Again, something most definitely is not right. Something seemed off. And I do think
it's lying.
right.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Why did that sound like him too? But anyway,
Yeah.
that kind of did sound like him a little bit. But it's just weird to me that it just
I got
something
that
was not
country
right.
accent.
Right. You got that country accent. But Tyler, thank you so much for calling in, man. I got a couple other people in line
right.
I want to pull up here. Okay. Talk to you soon, my brother.
Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace.
Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. Laura, aka S Dubs. What's up?
S Dubs is in the house.
Yes, ma'am. How you doing, sweetheart?
Doing pretty good. So I've watched about half of the trials all the way up until the last 2 days. And then I
Okay.
watched most of the last 2 days, like 90%. I had to leave the room a couple times. It did not do him any justice. He sucks on the stand for somebody who's experienced. And I think taking his character into consideration, you just can't get past all the lies, the deceit, how much money, sheer money he stole from his clients
millions.
and his law. I heard 8 to 10 million.
That's ridiculous. And your dogs concur, okay?
The dogs
That's a
concur.
lot.
They watched it with me.
That's
Sorry.
a whole lot of quiche. That's a whole lot of quiche, man.
I mean, I added up all of my debt, including my home loan, and I can't even hit $500,000. So just saying. Guy's guilty. Guilty as sin. I think he's guilty of the other things as well, or his family is guilty of the others. The boat crash.
Oh, absolutely.
I think the housekeeper was not an accident. And the boy that was found in the street, supposedly having some kind of relationship with his son
Buster.
that they want to hush. Yes.
Yeah.
So those are my opinions on this. And I mean, he's got nothing else to lose. So I don't know why he wouldn't just admit to whatever. He's going to spend the rest of his life in jail, but that's me.
No doubt. Oh yeah. Yeah. No matter what, I think what ends up happening is that if he is found not guilty, or it's a hung jury, he's going to still be getting caught on other charges no matter what. So he's still not going to be a free man, period, no matter what. It may not be 30 years. Okay, it may not be 30 years, but it may be 30 years with all the stuff that he is looking at as far as these charges. This man is going to be in and out of trials for a little bit. But I do think that the jury's going to find him guilty for
He's
sure.
my age. He won't make it 30 years in jail.
No, he won't. No, he won't. He definitely will not. He
Just
definitely
saying.
won't. Yeah.
And then
that,
one more quick comment.
Go ahead.
I do not think he
Ooh.
was just addicted to Oxy. There has to be other medications.
Medications. I like that.
Medications. There has to be recreational pharmaceuticals involved here.
Yes.
You
Are you
know,
talking
Uncle
about the
Eddie,
H?
Cousin Eddie. I think so. It's if you're gonna go on a tangent and not remember, you can mix Oxy with the H. You can mix
Right.
Oxy with soda pop, cocaine, Coke, soda. Sorry.
Oh, you could. You're good. You're good. You're right.
You could mix with a lot of things, and then you could go on a tangent that would make you go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and then all the sadness on the stand because he realized what he did.
True.
Would kick in.
Good point.
But he could have taken enough stuff to forget he actually did it.
That, you know what? That's a very strong point there. You know, he could have done enough for him to even forget that he was doing it whilst doing it. That could be it too, where he was just so high, right, that he just didn't even realize that he did the deed, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's so many questions about the raincoat and all these other things that the prosecution brought to the table. He has a lot of explaining to do. He has a lot.
A lot explaining.
But I don't know. I don't know if 2 days on the stand was enough. I wish they had him on for 3, just to be straight funky.
Oh God, it was too boring. Sorry, no. And any more snot coming out of that man's nose, I would have vomited.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. It was kind of.
I'm sorry, it was gross.
You can make soup out of all that snot that was coming out of his face. It was crazy. I mean, I swear to God, I collected all, and it could. Nah. But Laura, I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate that, sweetheart. I'll be talking to you soon. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay, we got Diana in the house. Hello, Diana.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
So I just want to say that I feel like they didn't prove beyond reasonable doubt. I think that it actually helped him because,
okay.
like, he honestly, all they proved was that he was a liar, which we've known this whole time that he was lying about this and he was lying about that. But did they prove that he pulled the trigger? Not to me. I don't think to anybody else either. I do think he was involved in the crime, but I don't think that he was the one that committed the crime. He knows something about the crime.
Right.
But he wasn't the one that committed the crime.
Okay, so Diana, let me ask you then. Why wouldn't he just say something about it by now? Then if he was involved and say, or not involved, but maybe he was in the area or he saw what went down, why wouldn't he just come out and just say the truth? Just be done with it. Why not? What are your thoughts on that?
I think he got somebody to do it for him. So he was involved. He would still get charged with being involved with the crime, and that's not something that he would want for himself.
So he paid for someone else to do this hit.
That's what I think, because I do think he was involved, but I don't think that they proved that he was the one that pulled the trigger. They don't have any like physical evidence. They don't have anything that is like 100% in the bullseye. Like, you did this. They proved he was a liar. That's pretty much all they proved in this whole trial. They've proved that he's stolen money, but they haven't proved that he was the one that
was in the place
and got the trigger.
You know what? You're right. It's the same thing like when we've been talking about BK like crazy with this Idaho 4 situation. It is, yes, there's a lot of damning evidence and a lot of things that are looking, as sources come out, right? We're starting to hear more and more information about those things as well. But they still don't show him being in the room holding said weapon, doing said things to the Idaho 4 kids, right? So it is going to be very difficult. Also, so I could see I could see how what you're saying right here is saying like, well, just because he's a liar does not mean he's the one who pulled the trigger. It's the same thing with BK, right? Yeah, he's a creepazoid, like, blah, he's creepy, right? But do we know he was in the room, right? That's one thing that the prosecution is going to be working on. And I feel like that's the thing that they dropped the ball on here with prosecution on this particular, with his testimony. They should have made a meal out of this dude. They did a little bit and then they back off. And I'm like, why? You should be just ripping him to shreds. Okay,
Exactly.
like this is your last meal. You know what I'm saying? But please, Diana, go ahead.
No, they definitely spent too much time on like the financial stuff, asking. They went through all the names of the people that he stole money from. Like that was not necessary. We know he stole the money. We know he was a scam artist, but that is not what you're trying to prove in this case. You're trying to prove that he committed this crime, and that's not what they did. They proved that he committed the financial crimes. They can pursue that, but they didn't prove that he committed this crime.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Diana, you have a very good point, and I think that's what a lot of people are talking about as well. And of course, what we talked about in the very beginning of this show, it's saying, do we know how do we know, and did he really do this, right? And now I see that people are now becoming even more. It's a perplexing situation. Okay, people are getting more and more conflicted within themselves after hearing and seeing his testimony. Because some people, I think, are moved by his performance. Let's just say, for lack of a better term, his testimony, his crying. It seems like it comes from a genuine place. But given the fact that we know that this is somebody who has manipulated countless times to get what he wants, $8 to $10 million worth of swindling and conning people, who's to say that he's trying to pull off the biggest con right now on that stand? But I do see a lot of people getting moved, getting swooned by his testimony, that are basically saying, wow, he did a great job, and now I'm confused, right? So, but I do see your point, Diana. It still doesn't put him in the place at the time, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
It is a lot for him to do in that time frame that they're trying to prove that he did. That's why I don't think that he was the one that necessarily did the crime, but he was probably present and he saw what happened.
Yeah.
And he was probably the one that paid for it. But I don't think he was able to pull off the whole thing by himself.
Yeah. He may not have been able to pull this whole thing off by himself. But then again, maybe he was able to pull it off by himself. But like I said, even myself, there's still so many questions, but I still lean on the side of him guilty for sure. But Diana, I appreciate you putting in your 2 cents. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye. We got Quinn in the house. What's up, Quinn?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, sweetheart. Where are you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Space Coast, Florida.
Okay. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
So I super chatted you earlier about his Southern charm and why didn't Waters,
yes.
Okay.
Thank you, by the way. Thank you.
Of course. I just wanted to say, does he have narcissistic qualities? Yes, but I think that this man is a misogynist. I think he's part of the good old boys club, which I know very well here in the South.
Right.
And I think that he's also very self-loathing. Hence why whether or not he had a surgery and that's why he started the drugs, but that's also part of somebody that becomes addicted to drugs for especially, oxys or hydrocodone, whatever. I think that Alec saw himself in Paul. Who knows whether Alec ever wanted to get into law, but it was his family legacy, right? Paul was the black sheep. He was known to be entitled. He was known to be lazy as opposed to Buster. I'm pretty sure, and I know you said that you didn't see it yet, but the Netflix documentary, which is mostly the kids from the boat crash speaking, I thought it was Paul's girlfriend that said it. I could be wrong, but somebody said in the documentary that Buster was the favorite son. And Paul was the...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. And Paul was the black sheep. And so they favored Buster because they knew he was going to take that path of the
Right.
legacy. So Paul threatens that with the boat crash. Maggie, not proven, but from many sources, hired a forensic accountant, may have been possibly talking to a divorce lawyer. So if you look at this and if he did it, Paul's death would have eliminated the criminal case. Maggie's death insured him and or ultimately Buster getting money from the property's insurance and any will-related disbursements from his parents. He clearly loved his family. He's an emotional guy. He's up on the stand. He's crying about it.
Right.
But I think he cares more about the money to cover his ass and his legacy standing. He's shown that time and time again, how much he's keeping the stealing from Paul to pay whatever. But he wanted to at least, he was self-loathing. He hated himself. He was addicted. There's no way out with all the financial crimes.
Right.
He wanted to leave something for Buster to carry on that legacy, is just kind of how I feel about it.
Interesting. But then why put out a hit on him? I guess just to leave his legacy, leave that behind, the money and all that for Buster, maybe?
I think he was still going to go down for the financial crimes either way. He didn't know which way that was going to play.
Right.
I think he's too self-important to actually tell Eddie. Like even Eddie said in some interview, listen, if I wanted to kill him, I would have made the right shot. So I think that he just wanted sympathy from it. He knew he was going down, and however that played out, ultimately he's removed from getting money, but Buster wouldn't be.
Right. Interesting.
I do have one last question.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you know if the jury can read testimony transcript? Like when they go into deliberation?
You know what? That's one thing I don't know. That's one piece I don't know.
Yeah, and I Googled it. I think it differs state to state and the type of thing. But the reason that I asked is when Waters said today after, in his defense, Alex's defense objected, but he still got the comment out because we all saw that Waters had no problem throwing out his little comments, right?
Right.
He said, so you heard all the people you love, right, Alec? It was so powerful the way that he said it. The jury can't unhear it. You can't unring that bell. So that's why I asked the question, because they heard it, but who knows how much longer this is going to go on. But that's a powerful statement, I think.
Yeah. It's a very, very powerful statement to say at the end, for sure. And I do remember, it almost seemed like I could hear the audience when he did ask that question. You can hear people like get quickly uncomfortable. You can hear like the murmuring and all that. It's like, finally, almost in a way, like finally a good zinger of a question right there. You know what I mean? Like bang. Drop the mic, walk off the damn stage. But I feel like those are questions that could have been asked hours before. But again, you gotta, you got some good points there. Man,
I think one of the most really important things will be interesting because I think defense said they're bringing up 4 rebuttals, witnesses, and I think prosecution said 2. I think when they started talking about when he went into the hospital, and you, like you talked about earlier, you can see the badge hanging out. We've seen the video. If you watch, when you watch the Netflix documentary, you see what he's doing in each of those rooms. They called Tyler, or not Connor Cook, the one that he tried to blame it on.
Right.
I think that's the kicker. If they don't do that, this is a done deal. I think Alex getting off.
If he does, I will be surprised.
Really?
But I mean, to a certain extent, yes. I do think that. I don't think that this testimony was strong. His testimony was. I don't think it was a good move. I don't think it helped. I think for a lot of other people, it made people wonder and have questions, which is totally understandable, and that's the whole purpose of him going on up there anyway, to poke more holes of reasonable doubt in the prosecution's narrative. But
that's what I
time,
mean. Do you think they've proven reasonable doubt? Because I feel like so many people, just from what I've seen on social media or legal commentary, that we all, as an audience watching, sure, we're like, oh, this is a done deal. Like, he's guilty. But all they have to do, right, is one sentence of a reasonable doubt.
True. And the thing is yes, I do think that defense, or the prosecution has dropped the ball in certain places. So there is a good possibility of that. But my personal opinion is I think he's guilty. I don't know what happened and what he did, but I think he most definitely was a part of it, or he was the one who did it. There's just something about the history, how he is, how manipulative he was before with everything else. I don't know. There's something about it that just smells wrong. But go ahead. One last thing real quick.
Okay, I
got some
promise.
other people here. No, you're good.
I do. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And he said today he did not hear or see, nor did the dogs alert to anybody else on that property. 2 minutes before he gets back in whether it was the golf cart or his car, I can't even tell anymore, going back. That says something. Okay. I don't think there was anyone else involved. I think it's clear cut. I'm with you. I think it was him. But they also proved today that there is no way that you left, and that's why Waters was on him today, that you left, and in the 2 minutes it took you to go back to the house, that you did not hear 6 gunshots or however many there were. There's no way.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying, like, it's just, I think prosecution could have done more, but there are still some big holes in his timeline. There's some inconsistencies here. That's why I'm looking at it and going, no, him guilty. Maybe the jury will find him. It'll be a hung jury because of reasonable doubt. But I feel that this man most definitely had a part in this situation, But Quinn, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much.
You bet. I'm with you. Have a good night, y'all.
You too, sweetheart. Bye.
Okay, bye.
And we have Jess. Hello.
Hi, Pascal. Okay, I'm on, and I just have to say, I'm a little sick, so if I sound funky, that's why.
Oh, you good? You good?
I so appreciate what you do here on the YouTubes.
Oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
To this wild trial. Oh my gosh, is this gonna go down as one of the most infamous families of all time? I remember when I started hearing about all this, and it's so crazy to me that this all just happened a few years ago. I feel like it was longer.
It does kind of feel like it happened like 7 years ago, right? And now we're finally getting this trial. But this only happened like almost 2 years ago.
It was like pre-pandemic. So anyways, okay, here are the things that stood out to me.
All right.
Did anybody catch that moment when the prosecution was asking him, you lied about this, and you lied about that, and you lied about this, and you lied about that? And he said, there was a moment when Alec, I think, kind of goofed up. And I don't know if anybody caught it, but if I was in the jury, I'd be like, oh, okay. Okay. Because the prosecution asked him something like, why, and these jurors are now supposed to believe this and that from you. And he was like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I swear there was a moment when that happened. I swear.
Really?
Yes. And I was like, what? And then the prosecution didn't really say anything after that. And I was like, hello, what's happening?
Right. An opportunity to really dig in, right? An opportunity to catch them on something,
I think,
and they didn't do anything.
Yes, everybody was yelling at the screams at the prosecution, like, come on, get him, say this, say that.
Right.
It was rough. It was rough watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to look. I'm gonna have to go back and see when that moment happened, because I don't remember seeing that moment. But still,
I felt like nobody caught it because the prosecution kind of just didn't say anything after that. I don't know. It was so bizarre, and I was like, I was almost like, did anybody else just hear that?
Right. No, it was interesting. Like the whole cross-examination was weird to me. I felt like it was lackluster. There were some moments where, there was some pushback and there was some aggression. Obviously, they were trying to intimidate him and all that, because that's just how it goes, to make him crumble, to make him fold under the pressure. But there was just a lot of it that I was like, man.
And then I felt like the
prosecution,
the prosecution was trying to do that. But then when he did fumble, it's almost like they didn't catch when he fumbled.
Right.
I'm like,
right.
What is happening?
I don't know. And that's the thing. It's like, what the heck is going on here? There's so many opportunities to just kick ass and take names.
The Snapchat video.
Yeah.
He had to take the stand for the Snapchat video. And I think, I thought he was guilty years ago when I heard about it. And I watched the documentary last night and my mind was just blown. I was just shooketh with all the information coming out.
I'm literally at the point now where I'm just gonna start. I'm watching it this weekend. I'm starting it tonight. I'm watching it tonight as soon as we get done.
Good, watch it, because you will be like, what the okay, Buster? Oh, okay, Maggie.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Maggie, but okay.
Interesting. I'm gonna be looking in that for sure.
Mm-hmm. And shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say.
It's okay. There's a lot going on.
The dog's not barking. My dog will bark like crazy if anybody comes by that my dog does not know.
Right.
She goes off the chain. The whole damn neighborhood will hear my dog. Yeah, and that Snapchat video, that did it for me. That did it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, it's that. I completely 110% agree.
And because he lied until video came out.
It's absolute lie until that dropped, and then he had to take the stand and go, "Yeah, I lied. Yeah, I lied." Like, come on, like you should have been truthful from the get-go. This just shows that you were trying to cover your tracks for whatever reason, and you cannot just blame it on addiction. That is whack, in my personal opinion. These are people that have lost their lives, and you're basically saying, "Oh, because of my addiction, I would have bags, like just a whole bag of pills in my pants." So even when I was in that car, when you saw that body cam footage, I had a whole bag of pills in my pocket right then. No one cares. You are lying about the fact that the wife and one of your kids is gone. And you lied about even being in the kennel in the first place. That's where you mucked the thing up. Now you got a jury that's going to get that information, look at that information and go, wait a second. He's lying about something that was crucial, mind-blowing, jaw-dropping evidence. I remember when it all came out, everybody's like, oh my God, Snapchat video. Oh my God, right? And then now he's like, oh yeah, because I was addicted to stuff and I was scared. So that's why I lied. What the hell are you talking about, bro?
And honestly, you could see right through his lies, even with the addiction. I think he's lying about it. he's lying about that too.
Yeah.
But
you know, but Jess, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for
have a
giving
good
us
night.
your 2 cents. You too, sweetheart. Bye. Okay, and then that is it, because the other person that is on or is in line, their their device isn't connected. But that is the end of the Speak On It segment for today. Okay, for tonight. But I do appreciate everybody for being here and being a part of the conversation, because let's be real, there's a lot that was going on in those past 2 days. I know a lot of people feel some type of way about this. Some people feel like, hey, he did the damn thing and he did a great job. And then there's other people that feel otherwise, right? But real quick, I got a super chat here. Quinn B, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I really do appreciate it. Let me turn this down just a little bit. Okay. But you said Alec can't recall his last words to his wife and son before they were unalived when he left the kennels. Nope. When he was waiting for LE, law enforcement, to arrive, wouldn't that be what you were trying to what you were trying to remember? I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, all of his theories or all of his memories were very, very shoddy, extremely, extremely shoddy. That's very annoying, and it doesn't make me like that's why I'm saying, like, it doesn't sit right. His whole thing, his whole testimony just did not sit right with me at all. It definitely made me feel some type of way. I wasn't entirely happy with it. I know some of you guys, like, I'm going to end this poll here, okay? But in the poll, I said, did Alec Murdaugh's testimony work or backfire? 72% of you guys said it totally backfired. Out of 262 votes, 72% of y'all said it totally backfired. So to me, when I see that, that tells me a different narrative, right? That tells me it didn't work. To me, it made me question things even more. It made me question things even more. And not in a good way. It didn't make me go, he might be innocent. No, he guilty. Him guilty. That's what I think. You lie about some information. You lie about being in the kennel, and then you go out of your way to elaborate this weird chicken gate situation. Oh, the guineas. I had the guineas, the chicken. And I took the chicken out of Bubba's mouth, and I put that petrified chicken on the table, and then I went to go see my mom. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, y'all. I'm sorry. To me, he's guilty as sin. I said it. To me, he is guilty as sin. All right? And maybe the jury sees that as well. But then again, it is all goes down to what the prosecution does and how they conduct themselves on these certain things. So, of course, we will be watching it. Most likely, I will be doing a watch party this week to watch at least watching the closing arguments, and of course, a watch party for the actual verdict for sure. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to do the ones where they're, doing testimonies of the other witnesses and all that. I think I'm going to wait for the closing arguments and then of course the verdict, the day that they finally have a verdict. So we'll see on that. Okay. But anyway, I appreciate all y'all for being here, being a part of the conversation. I may be back on in a couple hours because I got some more information for you guys on another story that we've been covering quite a bit on this show. So be on the lookout for that, because let's be real, we got to talk about it. So just be on the lookout for that. I appreciate y'all. Okay. Anyway, before I get going, hit that like button down below. Okay. And I'm sorry for those of y'all who weren't able to hop on to this to the Speak On It segment. I will be doing it again very, very soon. So you'll get another chance to hop on and chop it up with me, okay? Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to do that. And of course, do not forget to crush that subscribe button. You know your boy's working hard out here in these streets. Come on, babies. All right? And I'll be talking to you guys maybe very, very soon. All right? So be on the lookout. Make sure that notification bell is on. All right? And I'll be talking to you guys very soon. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a great night, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.